What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode whatever of You Go Bills. Let's just roll the intro. I don't remember what number this is. This episode is going to be all about prepping new drywall for painting, and then we're going to paint using an airless sprayer. And essentially, you can learn to paint like a pro. I've been prepping in here for the past few days. Give yourself plenty of time. I mean, a good 6 to 8 hours to actually just clean the walls. We have about 1,800 square feet, and it's a long process, so let's get straight to it. Essentially, there's not a lot of good info out there I found about what to do when you're actually trying to prep and paint new drywall. Should you use a cheap primer? Should you dust the walls? Should you clean the walls? Should you actually, use a damp cloth to actually wash the walls? There's a lot of conflicting information. Like I said, I'm not a pro. I'm going to give you my approach, what I did, and then at the end of the video you can see if it works out properly. One of the most important steps in the prepping and painting new drywall is the dust mitigation. It is absolutely disgusting the amount of dust there is in here after the sanding. I think the guys tried to do a quick cleanup, but again, you want it pretty spotless if you're going to be painting new drywall. That's what you don't want. You can see behind me here in the window we have a big box fan. This is just helping take out a lot of dust in the air. Now, I found so many conflicting ways online of dealing with the dust on the walls. I'm going to tell you what I did, and again, feel free to do your own research, and if you think I'm wrong, I mean, do what you think works best for you. So I actually started off a bit differently downstairs, and I think upstairs I'm going to do it the proper way. I think the best way to do it is to deal with the ceiling first. I bought a really large mop from Lowe's, and essentially this is just a floor mop, and I'm knocking down all the stuff there is on the ceilings to begin with. And essentially that drywall dust will stay in the air. You give it a little bit of time, and that'll settle on the ground. Then what you do is that you want to take care of the ground floor. So right now I'm doing all the sweeping, and I'm going to sweep the majority of the heavy stuff off the ground, and some of that will get into the air and onto the walls, and that's why the next step is going to be taking the mop, knocking down what's on the walls, and then letting that drop down. After that, I'm going to take my shop vac with kind of the little duster wide broom attachment, and we're going to run through the whole walls, and essentially we should get the majority of that dust off, and then we'll have to do a final little cleaning of the floors around the walls where that dust came off. Feel free to leave a comment down below on how you actually deal with the drywall dust. And well, since this is Friday, we're going to be doing all this sweeping, having a beer. This is the Cheeky Bastard Stout, and this is actually Alex, that viewer that I said might drop by, actually dropped by, brought me a few craft beers, and I'm enjoying one tonight while I'm working on the house, so there's some upsides to working a Friday night. Alright, so we're almost done cleaning up. Isa's just essentially running a final vacuum coat over the whole second floor, and essentially then we're going to go downstairs. So we're going to start upstairs. I'm just going to show you how I'm masking the window, because that's an important step if you're going to be spraying. We have drywall return on the windows. We're actually going to be spraying that window frame, so we want to take the window itself. I bought this thing called Scotch Blue Brand tape and paper dispenser, and essentially it's pretty much the same product as the 3M hand masker, the M3000. I'll link it below. I think it's a better product than this. This one's pretty flimsy, but it's the only one I can find locally. And essentially you put a roll of tape here, and you have a roll of paper, and this just helps you mask way quicker than you would by hand. So I'll finish up this window, you can see how that's done. Just to fasten the paper to the plastic. I put a little row of plastic sheet in the middle here that's kind of rough, and then I'm doing the edges with the masker. And I would definitely recommend getting better tape. I think that's a big part of the problem. I just pretty much bought the cheapest green tape you can buy. This painter's make, and it's complete garbage. It really doesn't stick properly. So I might have to go back to Home Depot or Lowe's and get, you know, some better tape to finish off. So we're using the Titan impact machine from Home Depot. This is just their kind of generic paint rental, and you drop the hose into, you just roll this into a 5-gallon bucket. We're doing primer at the moment. Isa's actually going to show you how to actually apply that on the walls in a second. We've done about half the house already. We've done the second floor, and we just wanted to get the hang of it before we actually show you how to use it. But it's definitely, so far, I think it's definitely a job that anyone can do on their own. And you might not get the perfect pro finish, but you can get pretty darn close with this thing. This is a cool machine. Essentially, when you start, you put it on prime. And then you turn the knob to spray. What that does is it brings a little bit of paint inside the machine through the filter and gets the everything pressurized so you're good to spray. The machine, super simple to use, not much to it. Let's get to Isa. She's going to show you how to actually apply this stuff. Little change of plans. I'll be doing the explaining for how to actually spray the walls. We're kind of on a time crunch. I have to bring back the machine, so I'll try to do this as quickly as possible. Again, don't forget, wear a respirator, work in a well-ventilated area, and wear some eye protection. You can see from all the time lapses and stuff that I'm not wearing eye protection in most cases, just because the goggles that I bought, even though they're a perfect seal, you know, they get completely fogged up when painting the ceiling. So if you guys have any suggestions on proper eye protection for the ceiling, I'll definitely you know, listen to your comments for when we do the top coat. So right now we're just doing the primer. So let's get to a wall. Essentially what you want to do is spray from top to bottom and do about 50% overlap. Keep your wand about a foot from the wall, and then you're gonna have to back roll everything. You'll probably see, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but it does quite a bit of streaking. That's not too bad for the primer. You just really want to soak everything into the walls and get you know, get the walls sealed so that your top coat can actually stick to the primer. So let's get started, and you can kind of see what this looks like. All right. Now that the spraying's done, onto the roller. This is the back rolling, and essentially we applied a liberal amount. You really want to get it to soak in to the wall. So I saw a comment from a pro painter on YouTube that said to essentially paint where you're just before it starts to drip. So you do have quite a bit of paint on the walls, and this keeps your roller nice and wet. You want to roll while the paint is still wet so you can even out this coat. And an extension like this makes it great. You know, it's a $30 stick, but at the end of the day you can get the home ceilings with this. This is a really tall extension. I would recommend it. It's nice and solid. I got this at the Home Depot. This is the auto lock one with the fiberglass shaft. I'll put the link down below, and I would definitely recommend using this stick. It was really good rather than the cheap little $5 broomsticks they have, which I've used in the past. Trust me, I'm a cheapo, so I've been that route, and it's just not worth it. That's it, well done. Pretty even. I'll get going on the rest of the stuff. Like I said, on a time crunch, I gotta bring back this Home Depot machine as quickly as possible, and it is filthy. I think they expect it to be somewhat clean, so I want to avoid that $125 cleaning fee. So they recommended I cover the machine. When we were doing the ceilings in the other room, the plastic slipped off and we didn't notice, so there's some machine cleaning to do right after this. So I'm gonna do this little segment outside since you know, spring is in the air. It's actually pretty nice out. What we learned is that number one, you should give yourself plenty of time for prep. It takes a long time to mask all the windows. Essentially the spraying is quick. The time you need with the machine is limited. It's everything to get ready for that. I would say that this is definitely a job you can do yourself. Do a little bit of research. Don't just take my word for it. Make sure you know what you're doing, and go rent the machine, try it out, and you'll see that you can definitely paint your own house. And at the end of the day, it saved us about $5,000 for hiring a painter, and it was a few $100s worth of paint so far and a few $100s worth of machine rental. And I also want to shout out the Home Depot in Gloucester, Ottawa. When I went back to bring back the machine, the guy had actually seen one of my videos and managed to just give me the machine for just a single day, which ended up saving me like $100. So if you guys are watching at the Home Depot on Serval in Gloucester, I really appreciate the machine rental. I hope you guys keep watching, and you know, shout out to just really good customer service. Another thing you should definitely be aware of is that you'll need a lot more paint than you thought. The 5 gallons say that they cover around 2,000 square feet of wall, but in reality the sprayer ends up using a lot more paint. I think this is more a case for primer, since there's a lot of soaking in that needs to be done, and then hopefully the top coat takes a little bit less, because the 5 gallons of top coat are a bit more expensive. So, and like in a lot of things in life, you'll need a good partner. You can do this yourself. I did some painting of the house by myself, but it's a lot more efficient when you have someone to help you out, and I was lucky to have a really good partner to do the spraying, and I was doing the rolling, which is hard on the shoulders. So I hope you guys enjoyed our video on preparing and cleaning new drywall to apply primer and paint with an airless sprayer. That said, if you like this video, like and subscribe, hit that little bell button and you'll be notified every time we make a new video. Thanks so much everyone for watching. We'll see you in the next one.